Welcome to the Unorthodox Jukebox Podcast. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about the angry black woman stereotype. Is it true or is it false? We're going to kind of break that down. Today we're going to listen to a clip of Ebony Williams on a podcast with four other, what I presume to be prominent young black women. And she's on a show called Listen to Black Women. We're going to play the clip and then I'm going to weigh in with my thoughts on some tough conversations that a lot of people shy away from. Let's play the clip and then we'll jump in.
I've learned from this, y'all, is people really want black women to be happy with anything. What people really want black women to understand is that we are to be accepting of our positioning as the least desirable in society. We should get the memo that nobody really wants a black woman. Thus, if anybody was to find themselves willing to take up with us, we should be happy, we should be grateful, and we should shut up about it. And if you are a black woman that dares to push back on that mythology, because that's what it is, it's a damn lie from the pits of hell. Right. And if you were to push back on that and insist upon a value system, insist upon a criteria, insist upon just a standard into which we want to operate romantically, we are demonized. Yes. We are, we are seen as ungrateful, and eventually we become the ungrateful, angry black woman. And I personally won't have it.
Okay, so that was the clip of Ebony Williams. She's a prominent lawyer. She's on a lot of shows. I'm sure she's probably by now a multimillionaire, I would assume. Either way, I know from everything that I've seen from her in the past that she's doing pretty well. Now, I want to break down some of the points that she said. First thing I want to start by saying is that I absolutely hate the stereotypes. I hate the fact that men and women seem to be against each other, particularly black women and black men. And we are second-class citizens right now. So the fact that we're turning against each other puts us at even a further disadvantage. And I just hate that these stereotypes exist. But sometimes the truth hurts, so we're going to go ahead and rip this Band-Aid off. It's disheartening and it's sad, but the truth is the truth.
People really want black women to be happy with anything.
Wrong.
Proved.
Wrong.
Now, in the first part of the clip, she said that society, I suppose that's who she was talking about, wants black women to accept anything. And that could not be further from the truth. When people are talking about these things, we're just saying be realistic. We're not saying don't have your preferences, don't have your standards. We're just saying be realistic. And as a woman who is very high earning in the millions of dollars, her pool of eligible bachelors is going to be severely limited. The ironic thing about this is that she's mentioning that they want black women to accept all these things, but what about the black man? You guys are trying to tell us that we should accept you with a bunch of kids, bunch of different fathers for the kids, bad attitudes, combative, emasculating, out of shape. Again, I hate stereotypes, but the truth is the truth. Black women are at the top of the list when it comes to obesity and being overweight. Our community is at the very top. We're at the top for these conditions like high blood pressure, hypertension, and diabetes, these kinds of things. So all these things that you want the black man to accept, I would be wrong for telling my son absolutely not. If he comes to me and he says, hey, I met this young woman and she has any of the things I just mentioned, I would be wrong to tell him don't do that. This is the ridiculousness that we're talking about here. Okay. Now, first of all, again, we are better together. And this is what's destroying our community, is that we are divided right now. And it's not all the black woman's fault. I think part of it is societal. It's subliminal messaging, direct messaging now. They're not promoting the black family as a unit. And black women are just playing further into this disparity and these delusions. If you were to sit down and ask black men in general who they would want, what they would want as a partner, I do believe that quite a few of them, if not almost all of them, would say they would want a black woman so that they can have a family with. what ends up happening is that because of these standards and these things that we're hearing here, we're choosing who choose us. If every time we're in the dating pool, we're eligible bachelors and we're talking to women, and our interactions with women, this is what we hear. We're deadbeats. We don't take care of our children. We're no good. We're lazy. We're broken. We're broke. These are all the things that we hear constantly over and over. And you want us, I won't even finish that. She went on to say further that she was trolling a little bit, but she said if a man chooses them, they should be happy, they should be quiet, they should be grateful.
If anybody was to find themselves willing to take up with us, we should be happy, we should be grateful, and we should shut up about it.
Ma'am, come here. Any woman, not just black women, if a man is doing all that for you, if he chooses you, if he deals with your crap, you should be grateful. You should be grateful. In the same way that he should be grateful that you put up with his crap. This is not one-sided, but here we're evaluating the comments that you said. She said they should be happy, they should be grateful, and if they should push back, then there's going to be a problem. Therein lies the problem, just with that phrase, pushback. There is a way that you can have a conversation without emasculating a man, without belittling a man, regardless of the amount of money he makes or his status. That is not what's happening. What is happening is that instead of having a conversation, they are explaining to us how we fall short, how often we fall short, why we're not reaching the mark. And half of these things, again, are not even realistic. They act as if we're trying to force some kind of... I just thought of something. We're not forcing jailbirds on you. We're not saying get a man that has no prospects, no future, no, that's a felon. But that is who you guys choose a lot of the time. And now, all these things have happened for such a long time that I think the saying is coming home to roost. I think is the saying. And now there's a problem. Part of the problem is something that you caused. You lay out how men respond. Men respond to what you put out. We don't care about your preferences. If you want, and this is one of the things that everyone is noticing. If you want a tall guy, if you want a guy that's packing, if you want a guy that makes a certain amount of money, well, that's your preference. No one is telling you not to have those things. But if a man says we don't want an out-of-shape woman, we don't want a combative woman, an argumentative woman, we want a woman that is feminine, fit, and friendly. If we say those things, somehow we're misogynistic. If that makes me a misogynist, bring it in. If that makes me a misogynist, then so be it. Now, here's why that's stupid. It's dumb, okay? It's very stupid. You guys need to learn the meaning of words before you use them. I have a mother. I have daughters. I have sisters. They're all African American. All right? All of them. And all of them that know me would know there's no way that I'm speaking bad against them, talking down against them. But also those women don't meet, they don't act like these women on this show. They have realistic expectations and standards. They're not out here saying all this ridiculousness, and I don't think they're teaching their children that either. That's a whole other subject. But she also said that they would be demonized if they wanted to have a value system, criteria, and standard.
Right. And if you were to push back on that and insist upon a value system, insist upon a criteria, insist upon just a standard into which we want to operate romantically, we are demonized.
Yes.
We are, we are seen as ungrateful.
But isn't the black man demonized for these same things? It's very ironic. I find it, black men are demonized. If you want to talk about people being at the bottom of the social scale as far as dating and desirability, I mean, I haven't looked these up, so I don't know the statistics, but I would imagine that even if a woman was attracted to a black man, she might be thinking about those things I mentioned earlier. And this may not be true, right? But what do you hear being flaunted in the mainstream, being shown on social media? We're deadbeats. We don't take care of our children. We don't show up. We're cheaters. We're liars. We're lazy. We're broke. This is what is said about us. So if we have values, if we have value systems, if we have standards, we are also demonized. Because if I say, I don't want a woman who weighs over 140 pounds if she's 5'3" or less, or 160 pounds if she's 5'3" or less. If I say something like that, now I'm fat phobic. Make it make sense. You know, I'm a black man, and let's just say if I had a bad day at work and I was abiding by the law and I got pulled over by the police, right? If at all I question anything they said, hey, why did you stop me? The initial assumption is that I'm an angry black man. I hate the stereotypes too. But, ma'am, Ebony, you got to stop this. Black men don't hate black women. We choose who choose us. And more often than not these days, it is not black women. They're the most combative, the most argumentative. And it started way back in the day when you had mass incarceration of black men, and they incentivized women, black women in particular in our community. They incentivized them for keeping the black man out of the home, and that is just translated into what we see today. And this is not all of you, but there's a lot of you. Look here, for the 25% of you women that is on this channel, I looked at the analytics, please help your sisters out. They need to know that the path they're going down is going to keep them single and alone. Men are smartening up. We don't want combative. We want feminine, fit, and friendly. If I'm wrong, man, jump in the comments and chime and let me know. Ladies, why are your sisters like this? Help them out. I mean, drop me a comment and tell me if I'm fishing in the right pond. Am I reaching too far? Now, Ebony, she's attractive. She's well-spoken. She's a great orator. She dresses well. I'm sure she's very intelligent. But the fact that she made a comment that says, when Ayanla Vanzant asked her, would you date a man that drives a bus? She says, only if he was the owner. This is the exact problem. It's not a problem with Ebony. She can have whatever standards she wants. But if she wants a brother, and the brother is a good guy, he makes his own money, he's out of debt, right? He's doing well for himself, but he only makes $70K, only makes $80K, and she makes $1 million a year. Do you think that she would be willing to bend a little bit to date that man if he was driving the bus and he had all those things I said, debt-free, owned his own house or whatever? He was doing well for himself on his level. But for her, she makes $1 million. He doesn't own the bus. He's immediately a non-contender. Make it make sense, ladies. The 25% of you that watch this channel, first of all, thank you for watching, but help me out here. Jump in the comments and tell me, do you think that this is ridiculous or not? Are us men, are we being unreasonable? I don't think we are. How do we fix it? Well, we don't want to believe the stereotypes, so don't make them true. Have a nice attitude. Be fit. Be friendly. Be feminine. And don't spew all this crap about, well, I'm forced to be this way because he doesn't lead. Do you know men don't even want to approach women these days anymore because of this, what's going on? How do we fix it? Solutions. How about you stop disqualifying men based on ridiculous, unrealistic notions? Let's do that. Give guys a chance. See if what they say matches up with what they do. And if it does, you might be surprised to find out that, oh, this is the type of relationship that I've been looking for all along. People like Ebony Williams, who are at the top prime of her game, the pool of eligible bachelors for her is very slim. She knows this. She said as much further in interview. There's going to be a part 2 to this. I'm going to break that down even more. But we need to have these difficult conversations so that we can come up with solutions. If he's a good guy, he treats you right, he works hard, give him a chance. How many women do you think will give a guy a chance? If he meets all that criteria, but maybe he doesn't meet the threshold of other things that she wants. It could be height, it could be money, I don't know. It could be status. None of those things make a good relationship. I'll leave y'all with that thought. If you like this video, you might want to check out these other videos over here. They're very informative and funny, and we talk about other topics. You might like them. Go ahead and click over there to watch it. I think you'll find it very interesting. I will see you in the next video. We're going to break this down some more. There's a whole 25-minute interview about this stuff. I'm just only going to break small parts down. Take care. Peace and blessings.